Good morning everyone. Welcome to the session Machine Learning. I am Spandana, Assistant Professor, Department of CSIT from MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. In the previous session, I had discussed about the topic supervised learning and what are the types of supervised learning, that is regression and classification. And also I had discussed it with some real-time examples and what are the advantages and disadvantages of supervised machine learning. And now today, the overview of today's session, what I am going to discuss is that what is unsupervised learning and what are the types of unsupervised learning, that is clustering and association. And next, what are the differences between clustering and association, and next later I am going to discuss what are the real-time applications of clustering and association and what are the advantages and disadvantages of unsupervised machine learning, and lastly what are the list of algorithms that comes under clustering and association unsupervised learning, and finally the summary of the overview. And let me discuss first of all what is unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is a type of machine learning in which models are going to be trained using unlabeled data set. Here, unlabeled data set is nothing but which does not have labels. That means no labels, which does not have labels, whereas supervised learning consists of labeled data set which is having labels like name, type or number. But here in unsupervised learning, we are going to train the model only with unlabeled data set which does not have any labels like name, type or number and are allowed to act on the data without any supervision. That means unsupervised learnings are going to be trained only using unlabeled data set. Whatever the training you are going to perform, you have to perform training only on the unlabeled data set. The goal of unsupervised learning is to find the hidden patterns and useful insights from the unknown data set. Whatever the data it may be, you have to give the training to the model and based upon that it is going to predict the output. That's how the unsupervised learning is going to be worked only on the unlabeled data set. Let me explain you with one example. For example, as you can see in the image, this is known as unlabeled data set. The unlabeled data set which consists of different varieties of fruits, it's like apples, bananas and mangoes. So it consists of different varieties of fruits. We are going to give the training to the model with the help of unsupervised machine learning algorithm, and based on that, once the model is trained, after getting trained with the help of unsupervised machine learning algorithm, then what it is doing, it is going to divide the fruits into different clusters. Based on the training, the model is going to divide the similar type of fruits into different clusters. That means apples into one cluster, bananas into one cluster and mangoes into one cluster. That's how the unsupervised machine learning is going to predict the output in the form of clusters. Let me explain you with one more example. As you can see in the image, which is also unlabeled data set, which consists of cats and dogs. So what we are going to do, we are going to train the model with the help of unsupervised machine learning algorithm. Based on that training, once the model is trained, it is going to divide the cats into one cluster, dogs into one cluster, two clusters. So that's how it is going to predict the data in the form of clusters. That is what unsupervised learning. And what are the types of unsupervised learning? So unsupervised learning can be further divided into two types, that is clustering unsupervised learning, association unsupervised learning. Let me explain you each in detail. Coming to clustering type of unsupervised learning. So what do you mean by clustering? Clustering is a method of grouping the objects into clusters such that the objects with most similarities are going to remain into one group and has less or no similarities with the objects of another group. That means the group of objects are going to divide into clusters. Similar type of things. Similar things, it is going to divide into cluster. Cluster analysis finds the commonalities between the data objects and categorizes them as per the presence and absence of those commonalities. That means the similar objects are divided into one cluster and unsimilar objects are divided into another cluster. This is known as clustering. Let me explain you with one example. Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning task where you are going to find patterns in the data where you are working on. It may be shape of an object or color, size, which can be used to group the data items, or which we are going to create clusters based on the shape, color and size of a particular thing. For example, as you can see in the image, for example, you are having a basket of fruits, like different varieties of fruits. So then what you are going to do? You are going to train the model with the help of unsupervised machine learning algorithm, that is clustering algorithm, by identifying the shape, size, color of a particular fruit. Then once the model is trained based on the shape, color, size of a fruit, then what it is going to do? It is dividing the similar type of fruits into one cluster. That means apples into one cluster, guavas into another cluster, strawberries into another cluster. So that's how, based on the color, shape, size, the machine learning algorithm is going to train the model based on the shape, color, size of a fruit. Then once the model is trained, it is going to divide a particular fruit into, that means apples into one cluster, guavas into one cluster, strawberries into one cluster based on the shape, size and color of a fruit. That's how the clustering is going to perform. Let me explain you with one more example. Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning task which involves grouping the similar data points. So I already told you it is nothing but dividing them into clusters. Similar type of things are going to divide into clusters. For example, as you can see in the image, for example, we got a project from mobile network company. Mobile network company, we got a project. So what they are going to do? They are going to give us some ways to suggest that how can they increase their revenue and the user base. So then what, for example, the persons, some of the persons who are having high call duration, the persons who are having high call duration may have less internet usage. Here, nothing but the persons who are having high call duration may use very less internet usage, and also some of the persons who are using high internet usage may also use less call duration. That means it's like swapping. The persons who are using less internet usage may have high call duration. The persons who are having high call duration may have less internet usage. This is one option. And for example, here the model is trained based on that. Then what they can give suggestions to the mobile network company. The model is going to give suggestions to the mobile network company that they can provide offers to the person with the best internet usage, those who are using more internet and less call duration. And also they can give offers for the people who are having high call duration are going to use less internet usage. They can give both offers to the customers based on their usage. So that's how the mobile network company is going to use this technology, that is clustering technology of unsupervised machine learning, and make their revenue better, and that can be used for the users very well. Both the customers can use the both offers based on their requirement. That's how clustering is used in such a type. So that's all about clustering. Coming to association unsupervised learning. What do you mean by association? It is also an unsupervised learning method which is used to find the relationships between the variables in the database. That means here the relationship between one data item to another data item is nothing but association. It determines the set of items that occurs together in the data set, and where this association rule is going to be used, it is going to be used in the marketing strategy. How it is going to be used? Let me explain you with one example, such as people who buy, suppose, a bread, and also is going to tender purchase butter or jam item. So this is one of the example in a market basket analysis. For example, the person who is buying bread may also able to buy butter or jam. It's nothing but this is known as association. That means one object, bread, is related to butter or jam. This is nothing but there is a possibility to buy. If he buys bread, he is going to buy butter or jam. This is nothing but association. Association unsupervised learning. That's how this is going to be used in marketing strategy. Let me explain you with one more example. Association is an unsupervised machine learning task which you can find dependencies of one data item to another data item, and you are going to map them such that they can help you profit better based on your requirement. For example, as you can see in the image, the customer is going to buy bread. He is also more likely to buy butter or jam or something like that. So whenever the customer is going to buy butter or jam, he is also able to buy milk. That means there is a dependency related to one item to another item. So you can map them like this. The customer who is going to buy butter is also able to buy bread. So for example, the customer who is going to buy bread also going to buy milk. So that means it is interlinked. This is nothing but association. That means whenever you are buying some product, whenever you are going to buy bread, there is a possibility to buy butter and also to buy milk. This is nothing but association, interlinked between one data item to another data item. Let me explain you with one more example. Association is an unsupervised machine learning task that is used to find important relationship between the data points. I already told you there is an interconnectivity between the one data item to another data item. For example, customer 1 is going to buy the products like milk, bread, banana and wheat, and customer 2 is going to buy milk, bread, rice, butter. That means we can map the association between these two customers, that the customer 1 who is going to buy milk, compulsory he is going to buy bread. The customer 2 also in the same manner, whenever he is going to buy milk, he is going to buy bread. That means the two combinations is compulsory. This is nothing but association. Association, unsupervised learning. Next, so based on this, whenever the customer 3 is going to buy bread, then we can suggest him to buy milk. As all the customers are going to buy bread, that all the customers are going to buy the milk. Based on this, we can suggest him to buy milk. Now the other customers, those who are buying bread, are also able to buy milk. This is nothing but association. Association, unsupervised learning is going to be used in such way. Next, that's all about clustering and association. Let me tell you the key differences between the clustering and association. Clustering is to group similar data points together based on the similarity measure. I already told you it is the group of objects are going to divide into similar type of objects into similar cluster. And association is nothing but relationship between one data item to another data item. The output of clustering, the partitioning of data into distinct clusters where each data object is related to the single cluster. Based on that similarity, similar things are divided into single cluster. The output of association is a set of rules that express the relationships between different items in the data set. It's nothing but whenever you are buying one item, it is related to another item. That means there is a link between the two items. This is nothing but association. In summary, clustering aims to group similar data points together to discover underlying structures. Here you can see the example. Different types of vegetables are there. This is, we are going to divide them into clusters. Similar type of things into different clusters. This is known as clustering. And whereas association analysis focus on identifying the relationships between them. For example, the customer went to the fruit market and he bought an apple. There is a possibility to buy orange and there is a possibility to buy bananas. That's how this is known as association is interlinked with one object, one data to another data. That is the difference between clustering and association. And next, let me discuss the real-time applications of clustering unsupervised learning. There are customer segmentation, fraud detection, fake news detection, document clustering. How the clustering unsupervised learning is going to develop these applications, let me discuss each in detail. Customer segmentation is nothing but it is like sorting a group of people into different categories based on a similarity. That means, for example, you are having a group of friends. Some of the friends may like sports and some of them like art and some of them like movies. That means, based on their interest, you are going to divide your friends who are liking sports into one cluster and who are liking art are divided into one cluster and who are liking movies are divided into one cluster. That's how the customer segmentation is implemented. For example, you're also having some customers in business. In business, companies have a lot of customers where they are doing some shopping online. Those who are going to buy products more can be grouped into one category. Those who are buying less can be grouped into another category. Who are buying some specific products only are grouped into another category. That is nothing but with the help of customer segmentation, we are going to perform. That means this helps the company understand its customer better and provide them with things they are more likely to be based on their interest. The company is going to understand their behavior and what it is doing. The company is going to provide special offers to the customers based on their interest and the products that match their preferences. That's how the customer segmentation is useful. Next, coming to the other real-time application of clustering is fraud detection. Fraud detection in machine learning is like having a smart system that watches over things like online transactions or activities. That means it's like having a guard whenever we are doing some any suspicious or any doubtful things, transactions, then what it is going to detect the fishy or dishonest which is happening with the help of fraud detection. For example, credit card fraud detection. For example, you are going to use your credit card to buy some online stuff. So you are going to buy some products. So here what it is going to do, the fraud detection system is going to observe all the transactions which you are going to buy. The fraud detection is going to observe all the transactions of the customers who are buying stuff online. For example, a customer is going to buy different things in different countries. Then what this fraud detection tool is doing? It is going to observe the transactions, or if any suspicious thing is happening, it will raise an alarm. It is going to give the message like that, this is not safe, there might be some problem, don't do that. So you get a message. So with the help of fraud detection system, that means this can help your money safe and it is going to keep your information safe with the help of this fraud detection system. That is one of the real-time application of clustering. Let me explain you with one more example. Fake news detection. Fake news detection in machine learning is like having a smart tool that can tell if a news story is true or false. That the story which is trending, whether it is true or false, can be detected by fake news detection. It works by analyzing the words, sentences and context of the news to figure out whether it is a trustworthy or it is created by anyone. Whether it is a fake news or is it a trustworthy news, it is going to detect. For example, imagine that you are come across an online article that eating everyday chocolate makes you immortal. The scientist had made a message that eating chocolate every day makes you immortal. This is a news which is in scrolling on the online article. Then what this fake news detection tool is doing? It is going to analyze the all information regarding that sentence, and the fake news detection tool is going to be trained on words, sentences and context of the news. So based on that, it is gathering the information related to fake news. Based on that, it is going to detect that news is either fake or true. That's how this is used for our daily lives. Next, other real-time application is document clustering. Document clustering in machine learning is like sorting a bunch of documents into groups based on their similarities. Imagine you have a big pile of papers. You are going to organize them into different stacks. That means the topic wise related, where papers with similar topics or ideas together, you are going to divide in the form of a stack. That means topic 1 related into one stack, topic 2 into another, topic 3 into another. That's how the document clustering is going to divide. For example, you can see in the image reviews of a restaurant. Different people visit different restaurants, and they are going to give some feedback to it. The reviews, it may be bad reviews or it may be good reviews like that the food is tasty or it is somewhat bad, or the restaurant is good or the restaurant is bad. Different customers are going to give different reviews. That means the reviews are going to be grouped into the different topics. That means using this document clustering, the reviews are grouped based on the food type and restaurant. That's how this document clustering is used. So based on this, the people can review, look after these reviews. Based on that, they are going to visit the type of a restaurant based on the reviews with the help of document clustering unsupervised learning. So that's all about real-time applications of clustering. Now coming to real-time applications of association. Market basket analysis, medical diagnosis, web recommender systems, customer behavior analysis. Let me discuss each in detail. The one real-time example of association is market basket analysis. Market basket analysis is a technique in machine learning that examines the relationship between items frequently purchased together in transactions. I already told you association is nothing but connecting the relationship between one item to another item. It is commonly used in retail and marketing sector to uncover patterns and customer buying behavior. For example, as you can see in the image, for example, you are going to make online shopping website. You are going to buy a new smartphone. And what website is doing? The website is going to recommend and it is going to display message. The customers who bought a new phone also need a case for it. This is nothing but association. So the customers who are getting a new phone is also needed case. So the they are using market basket analysis. Based on that, they are giving some message. Those who bought a new phones also need a case for it. That's how the association is going to be used and it is going to improve the marketing. So association unsupervised learning is going to be used in marketing strategy. Next, one more real-time application of association is medical diagnosis. Medical diagnosis using association in machine learning typically involves analyzing patterns and the relationship with a large set of medical data to identify the association between symptoms, diseases, treatments, and other relevant factors. That means it is going to apply to electronic health records or other health related data set. For example, you are getting in hospitals patient records, the data analysis is going to identify that the person who is having headache and also nausea may also have migraine. Based on the data analysis of the patient's records in the hospital, it is going to identify that the person who is having headache and nausea may also have migraine as a diagnosis. That means the medical diagnosis system is going to identify that the person who is having a headache and nausea may also have a migraine. So what is happening? This medical diagnosis can be useful to the doctors who are going to diagnose these patients. Based on that, they can suggest they are having migraine, and also they can use their expertise along with these suggestions, and also this is going to patients' careful use. That's how this is useful for the patients and also doctors. And one more real-time example of association is web recommender systems. Web recommender systems are like digital helpers that pay attention to what you do online, and also try to show you things that match your interest based on that online. They aim to make your internet experience more enjoyable and help you discover new things you might like. For example, these web recommender systems in machine learning are like personal assistants for the internet. Personal assistants for the internet. For example, imagine you are doing shopping online and watching something in the YouTube. So based on that, what the system, web recommender system, is going to read the patterns of a particular customer based on their interest, and based on that it is going to give suggestions related to your shopping products and also what you might like based on your previous watching. So based on that, the web recommender system is going to give suggestions which helps you things become more easy. For example, you are going to buy some athletic shoes online. Then what the web recommender system is going to analyze the customer behavior, and based on that it is going to give you to buy socks or some workouts, some workout cases. So whenever you are buying some shoes, it is giving products related to that socks or something workouts related to your search. That helps you making shopping easy for the customers, and something you might watch, so it is giving related to that. So that's how web recommender system is going to work. Let me give you one more example of association. Customer behavior analysis. Customer behavior analysis in machine learning involves using the data and algorithms to understand how customers interact with products, services or platforms. By examining patterns in customer actions, preferences and decision making. So based on that, let me give you one example. Online streaming. That is nothing but YouTube. The customer behavior analysis is going to learn the patterns of our customers based on their interest. Here, online streaming YouTube, for example, the customers are going to, some people are going to watch some cooking videos. Some cooking videos in the YouTube. That means here what it is going to do. The system is going to learn the behaviors and the preferences of a particular customer. Then based on that, it is going to give suggestions and cooking related videos like kitchen tips, recipes, so on. So based on that, it is giving suggestions. So that's how the users can able to see videos based on that cooking videos. Any videos related to cooking, it is visible to the customers based on their preferences and based on their interests. So that's how it is useful. So that are the real-time applications. Next, coming to advantages of unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is going to work on more complex tasks compared to supervised learning, and it is only going to work on unlabeled data set. That is, which does not have any labels, whereas labeled data set is going to work in supervised learning, and unlabeled data set is going to be worked in unsupervised learning, which does not have labels, no labels. Here it consists of labels. That is the only difference. And identify the defects in the data collected and recognize patterns to cluster the data. Similar type of things, it is going to divide into cluster. That is one of the advantage. And also cleansing the data set, it is going to remove the unwanted features from the data set. That is also one of the advantage. And it is going to save a lot of manual work. That means we are not going to divide. The system directly divide the objects into different clusters based on their similarity. Coming to the disadvantages. The disadvantages, unsupervised learning is more difficult than supervised learning. It does not have a particular accurate output because a huge amount of data it need to work. That's why it is a more complex task. So unsupervised learning algorithm might be less accurate whereas compared to supervised learning because the data is not labeled in unsupervised learning. That's why the algorithms do not know the exact output in advance. So that is one of the disadvantage. It is going to get less accurate outputs because of unlabeled data set. And you may never know the method how the data was sorted by algorithm in the model. You never know the method. That is one of the disadvantage. Output obtained has to be understood by the user and mapped with corresponding labels. This is also one of the disadvantage. Output obtained may not be what the user was expecting here due to the interpretation mismatches happening. This is one of the disadvantage. And also the time is more to train the model. Training the model is going to take lot of time, so that is also one of the disadvantage of unsupervised learning. And the list of algorithms which comes under clustering unsupervised learning is K-means clustering, KNN clustering, hierarchical clustering. And the algorithms which comes under association unsupervised learning is a priori algorithm, FE growth algorithm. These algorithms we are going to discuss in the next coming sessions. The summary of today's session is that we have discussed what is unsupervised learning, which is going to work on the unlabeled data set, which is going to divide the similar type of things into clusters. Types of unsupervised learning, that is, one is clustering and association. Clustering is nothing but it is going to divide the different types of things into similar type of things into clusters, whereas association is related to one data item to another data item. If you are going to buy one item, you are going to buy another item that is related to, like bread and milk. If you are going to buy bread, you are going to buy milk. That is an association example. And what are the difference between clustering and association? And we have discussed real-time applications of clustering and association, that is web recommender systems and customer behavior analysis and also fake news detection. So many real-time examples we have discussed. How the clustering and association unsupervised learning is going to be used in our daily lives. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of unsupervised machine learning? And also list of algorithms which comes under clustering and associations. That's all we have discussed in today's session. So in the next coming session, I am going to come up with the topic reinforcement learning. That is the third type of machine learning, that is reinforcement learning, and what are the types of reinforcement with some real-time examples. Please keep watching, like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.